we must be honest as a country that we are not where we were, we are not where we want to be, but we are definitely not where we were. My job is to make sure that we get there. Many people also speak behind my back and behind corners, and I'm not the first minister they said that about when it comes to the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, that this is a junior department. This is a department that's not being taken serious. But when you go to places like France, they congratulate me and say, you've got the most important minister. The deputy president, acting president now told me, when I do this, I'm not saying this is the deputy president. I see Rakis is smiling. I say the deputy, then I speak with my hands. He also told me that in Italy, people feel the same way about the arts, that is part of the golden economy. And we are going to bring social cohesion. We are one nation. We are the children of Nelson Mandela. We should not let those ones that want to detract us, those ones that want to separate us, those ones that want to divide us, we should not even give an ear to those. We should lend our ears to people that come with ideas for us to go forward. And one of the most important things we discussed was the fact that we shared with the acting president that for 30 years in this country, the same conversation about transformation in sport has been happening. I think it was Einstein that said if you do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that's insanity. So we don't want to follow the insanity route. Hence, the debate or the discussion will shift to where it should have started, which is you can't expect equal outcomes if there's no equal access. You can't expect the black swimmers at the Olympics, but there's no pools. It's madness. You can't expect a pole vaulting champion from black people to be represented at pole vaulting and swimming. But there's no pole vaulting, net, pole. It can't be. And I assured the acting president that my term, the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, would want to be a term where I make sure that arts, community halls get used for its purposes, for community theater, community functions every day, because it can't be at the moment it's not being fully utilized. You use the community hall twice or 3 times if you are lucky, but we're going to turn that into community theaters where it should be today you train, tomorrow you perform, and because we take the art serious. We're also going to fight very hard to make sure that artists get recognized as workers. We can't be treating our artists and our creatives as if they are not being recognized as workers. They can't go and buy a car and give 3 months bank statements or buy a house. It can't be. It's an indictment on us. And we want to fix that. And we are going to fix that. Because artists are workers. They contribute 3% to the GDP of this country. The same as agriculture. We can't treat them like they are just there to make us laugh, to make us happy.
I was listening to everybody, including the MC, including the president, including the CEO, trying to pronounce the name of Mr. Etienne Chapot. And it made me think in Parliament when we were trying to pronounce conscientiously. And he just took me back and I was smiling. But I just wanted to say to Saskok, we're going to work together. And in my mission, I'm an action man. My main priority in as far as this inspirational team is concerned is to make sure that, they don't just shine on stage, but when they get home, they worry and stress about debts, worry and stress about what they're going to eat tomorrow or how they're going to survive. I promise right here on this stage that I am going to engage sponsors. I'm going to engage my own people in my department. Luckily, I'm in charge, so I don't need to engage a lot. myself and the DM is going to make sure that we change what you do on the sporting field for us. We're going to do off the sporting field. May God bless you. Thank you very much. The views I held before election, I'm holding it stronger now. Post-election. My pre-election views does not change because of being a minister. I still believe you have to be documented when you come into South Africa. I still believe that's not Gayton, that's the law. And if you are not documented, you should abahambe, you should leave. You know, people that say to me, you are xenophobic. I said, until they kill your child, and then we can't find the person because the person is undocumented. The issue of the young lady is, for me, I was asked upon landing.
Yes.
What do you think of the lady? I said, listen, number one, I don't have all the facts. That was my first thing I said. I tweeted, I said, I don't have all the facts. But what I do know, and in 2068, I will still hold the view that no Nigerian, no Zimbabwean, no Italian, no American should become Mr. South Africa. Miss South Africa. Why then? There's Miss World for those things. There's Miss Universe for those things. But South Africa, Miss South Africa is an ambassador of the country, is a person that will export our culture, is a person that will export our way of life to the world, is a person that will go and make sure people want to visit our country. All I'm saying is that I've seen videos, number one, where she's celebrating, and there's nothing wrong celebrating with a lot of Nigerians. But when your father goes on the radio and he says that he met your mom in 2010, and then she fell pregnant in 2010, that makes you 14 years old. The father said, and at the end of the interview, the father was asked, do you see your daughter South African or Nigerian? The father said on the interview, I see her as Nigerian. I listened to it.
Right.
Now, I am not wanting to cast any aspersions, but that gives a bit of vibes. If my father was being asked, what am I? Then I've got no business representing Mr. South Africa, because my father says I'm not South African. But if the lady, you know, people must not mistake if you are born in South Africa that you are South African. A human being born, a cow being born in a horse stable doesn't make you a horse, and that is the law.
So what would you like to see? Because that is literally next weekend.
I would like to see. I would not like to go the route that it is taking now. I would like to see a more amicable atmosphere surrounding this thing. At the moment, all we're asking for is, please give us, please answer our questions. It's not enough when they say one thing and the parents say another thing in the interview. It will be a travesty of justice. There's no South African that can represent America. Why do we allow things? And I'm not even saying she's Nigerian. But if you ask me today, are you South African? I'm going to say yes. Particularly when I'm going to represent South Africa. I need to give. We can't just be told by private people that is getting a lot of mileage out of this thing, and South Africa is getting a lot of mileage, to say, no, she's South African. The deputy minister came on TV and he explained the situation. So we are now following the correct channels. And if she's South African, I will be the first to apologize and say, if you feel that I've cast any aspersion on you, as the minister, I would like to apologize. But if she's not South African, she cannot represent us.
She can't go on stage, for example, because at the stage, she has to be part of the pageant.
She doesn't have to. Why do you mean she has to?
No, but according to the rules that they have. So that's why I was saying that for you, what would you like to see?
Corporate South Africa can't write the rules that governs us. That's the first thing we must understand. Corporate South Africa has rules in King 1, King 2, King 3, the Companies Act. But they can't tell us we are satisfied with her. Then they should get another name for this pageant. Because this is South Africa we're talking about. Imagine it is being found out, the embarrassment to South Africa, if it is being found out that this woman is not South African. It is humiliating us again on the national stage to say, look, we had the humiliation the other time.
With Obama and the translator.
I am going right there.
Yeah.
It was a joke wherever you go. People are saying...
The sign language, yeah.
The sign language guy. We were made jokes. People were saying that we were the joke of the world. Now, my job as a minister is not only to wanting to be nasty or whatever. No, that's not my job. My job is not to be nasty to people. My job is to make sure that we don't get humiliated. And you know what's the worst part? If she proves to be Nigerian, she's robbing a South African of a chance. Why are we, Stevie, wonder about the fact that there is some vibes here? The father says that. The father said, I met the mother.
The story doesn't tell up.
The story doesn't add up.
Now, and I've got to take a break though, but if, and historically though, we've seen that per lineage, there have been other Miss South Africas who had lineage maybe from a Portuguese and an Italian, and they were able to ascend and wear the crown as Miss SA as South Africans. Can't they then use that as a defense? Let's find out more.